We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. I see a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine, you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine, you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hate hating on me.
DJ, turn it up, and I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Look like a walrus. Look like a walrus. You didn't say no. Look like a walrus. Look like a walrus. You didn't say no. Nobody knows why liars lie. Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. It's God's side and the other side. Country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, but can bitch, and look like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't want to be a movie star.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. Ricky Smiley can't act, cause Ricky Smiley can't act. Why is he in a dress again? He didn't be wanting to body, and you gotta tell him no. Said ain't got no special, you remember? Eve ain't got no special, you remember? Ricky ain't got no special, you remember? Sir, I have 12 comedy specials. P. Diddy or whoever you is. DJ, turn it up, and I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Look like a walrus. Look like a walrus. You didn't say no. Look like a walrus. Look like a walrus. You didn't say no.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your first morning wake-up call. Okay, because there's another one right after this one. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and double check to make sure that you're still subscribed to it. Because you all know people become mysteriously unsubscribed. Pay attention. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Unsubscribe, unfollow, exit stage left, and go follow one of my haters. All right. Hello, Wanda. Juju be in the house. Ayon. All right. Charlene, Wavy Though, Timber Dan, Buckhorse DC, Charm Watson in the house, Regina, Tonio Bluehawk, Khalid Harleen, Eternity Christopher, the Bible of Truth. All right, the elders up in the house. Okay, Rachel, Desi Des, Mr. Elevation, Mahogany Brown is here, Bithia, Miss Peaches, okay, Junior, Miss Cookie, Queen Sam, Obsidian Blaze, Brand Slayer TV. Let's get into it. Christopher, Vince I am all the way from the UK, Obsidian Blaze, True Snow TV in the house, Scoop. All right, Brand Slayer TV, Latanya. All right, let's do it. Shout out to Eternity, Priscilla, and Timber Dan. Sandra Too Much for TV, 504, Nola in the house, Laverne, Ashley. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned in to the Queen. All right, and my moderators for putting in work. Let's get into it. Let's get into it because it's all nefarious. Now, I know you all are waiting to hear that explosive audio from Diddy. And so let's talk about it. You know what? I'm not going to do that right now in case people come in late. We'll get to that in a second. But in the meantime, between time, let's talk about what happened to two toddlers. This is all so sick. Okay? These freaks, because that's what they are. 7 men, grown men, assaulted, not only assaulted, they draped without the D, some toddlers in the mall. Now, one of these men who was supposed to be watching them, he was a friend of the family, or so they thought. This happened in the Galleria Mall. So let's get into it because I find it all so nefarious. All so nefarious. And they've all been charged. Now, not all of them. A man has been charged. Some of them are unidentified. So they don't even know who they are as of yet. And this was all done. This was found out because it was recorded. Okay, the idiots filmed it with their 6 cells. Okay, so a man is in federal custody, charged with sexually assaulting toddlers at the Galleria Mall and then posting videos online, according to records. Now, the court documents tell of a disgusting pattern of assault. They outlined 4 short videos that were posted online showing the sexual assault of two 2-year-olds where more than one perpetrator was present. There was like 7 of them. The man who initiated the whole thing and got the others involved, and there were 6 more of them. And the guy, Arthur Fernandez the third, he had access to both children in the mall because of their mothers who worked there. They would sometimes bring their children when they were unable to get childcare. Fernandez worked at a nearby kiosk in the mall and would offer to watch them. See, you have to be suspicious, okay? Because why is this man wanting to all of a sudden take care of toddlers, okay? Well, he's not getting paid to do so. He's not a member of the family. Why is this strange man who works in the mall? And of course, he wasn't strange to them. They know him from the mall, but I would still have questions, okay? Why would he be so willing to keep these children? Now, and then I would not have allowed them to be out of my eyesight. That's what I wouldn't have done. ABC 13 was told that during those times, Fernandez would bring the child into a bathroom, reportedly to assault them, and then take videos with his sick, perverted self. Now, in those videos, upwards of 7 people could be heard making vulgar comments and could be seen assaulting the child, though only Fernandez is charged. And that's because the rest of them haven't been identified. And they were berating these children, verbally assaulting them and physically assaulting them. Now, Eyewitness News spoke to Torrance White with the FBI on Tuesday. And although White couldn't comment on the case itself, he warned parents, of what the consequences can be. Unfortunately, how these perpetrators, want to be around your children. And they'll act so nice and sweet, like, oh, let me just watch them for you. And see, I told you all that even some of these freaks, you hear a lot of these stories that I've reported on about people doing things to children at school. Some of these teachers having relationships with children. One woman was even pregnant by a 12-year-old, her sick self. Okay, then I just told you days ago about the woman who told the child, the 14 or 13-year-old child, that she wanted to be his first and all of this sick stuff. You see, I've told you before that these people who are perpetrators and predators and all these things, they very often get jobs that put them in close proximity to people's children. Okay, they will be like camp counselors. They'll work with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. Okay, they'll have daycare centers. I'm not saying all of the people that do these things, of course, but I'm saying a lot of these perps, these are the types of jobs they get so they can be around your children. Okay, now the perpetrators of these crimes are often family members and teachers. So I'm going to get to the news report. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's just go to the news report because it's also sad. It's really sick. And they got a picture of the guy from his Instagram, but it's not a very good picture. I tried to find his Instagram. I couldn't find it. Maybe they've taken it.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Antoine, and topping the rundown here tonight, an absolutely devastating story. 2 toddlers were allegedly sexually assaulted in a bathroom at the Galleria by multiple men. One of the men was a mall employee. Fox 26's Natalie He is joining us now live from the Galleria with the disturbing details. Natalie.
Well, Anthony, court documents reveal that there were up to 7 men involved in the sex assault. It apparently happened at one of the public bathrooms here at the Galleria Mall. And tonight, one local organization has an important message for parents.
The FBI has arrested Arthur Hector Fernandez III and charged the 29-year-old with sexual exploitation of children. Fernandez is pictured here on his private Instagram with the username allegedly Hector. His account was named in court documents that detailed the disturbing allegations that he and at least 6 other unidentified men sexually assaulted and raped a toddler at what appeared to be a Galleria Mall bathroom. Court documents say last month the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation reported 4 explicit videos found on the dark web to the FBI in which at least 2 toddlers ages 2 and 3 were filmed being sexually and verbally assaulted by multiple men at once. Relatives of the toddlers told investigators Fernandez was a friend and fellow Galleria employee who offered to watch the kids while they were at work at the mall.
I think as parents, you want to go with your gut, but also as policymakers, people need to start figuring out how do we make sure that we have safe environments for our kids so they don't have to, parents don't have to wait on a creepy uncle or a neighbor that they think is safe.
Dr. Bob Sanborn is the president and CEO of the organization Children at Risk. He says parents should look out for certain telltale signs that their child may have been abused.
Kids, after they've been out with someone who you thought you trusted them, they will sort of withdraw. They'll be more quiet. And so look for those changes in your children. Bedwetting, not eating, all of these things are sort of signs that something isn't right with your child. In this case, we're talking about toddlers. They really couldn't communicate. They didn't know what was right and wrong.
Now, Dr. Sanborn also suggests that parents remain vigilant about who they're trusting with their children, even if it's only for a few minutes or for a few hours. From the Galleria, Natalie He, Fox 26 News.
This is all so disgusting. What is the world coming to? Okay, 7 grown men, all disgusting. And these poor women trusted that fool and thought he was going to take care of their babies. And this is what he did. Okay, people like this deserve the death penalty because there's no way to rehabilitate them. And they never need to put back out on the streets because you know what happens if they ever get out? They don't stop. Prison is not a deterrent. You see, they can't help themselves. They're compelled to do these things because they're sick. Okay, so what they do when they get out of prison is they continue to do these things, but this time they start murdering the children so that there's no witnesses. Because isn't that what happened in the case of poor little 6-year-old Christopher Barrios a few years ago that I told you all about in Brunswick, Georgia? Okay, this convicted freak, a pedophile who had done this before, got 10 years of probation. Didn't get any prison time. And then so when this happened to Christopher Barrios, he and his grown son did this to the poor child. They murdered him. That's what they did. So these are the types of things they do. This is all so disgusting. Anyway, with that all being said, moving right along, everyone please get the likes up. Please like and share. For those of you who follow the backup channel, you already know about the 215 bodies that were buried behind the Alabama jail in Jackson. I'm sorry, not Alabama. The Mississippi jail in Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, you all already know about that. But, and I think I showed my TikTok on here for you all to see. But nonetheless, now they're saying it's over 600 people buried back there. Because Dexter Wade, who is the reason all of this got discovered when his family reported him missing March the 5th after he left and never came back, or he was reported missing days later after he left March the 5th and never came back. And then they found that he was buried in a pauper's grave and was actually killed by a police officer when he was struck by the vehicle, so they say. But anyway, he was number 672 because they were only marking them with numbers. So Benjamin Crump, spoke about this. Okay, this is all real crazy. Hold on. Let me just pull this up real quick. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Moderators, do me a favor and please put the link for the next live in the chat, please. Please put the link for the next live in the chat. And also for those of you who don't follow the backup channel, just so you know, I talked about all of these murders of Black people in a small town in Virginia. So if you haven't watched that video, please watch it. They are just murdering people. These are young people, okay, in their early 20s and even a teenager about 18 or 19. These people are coming up mysteriously deceased in a small Virginia town. And this is all being done by design. The town has a history of racism. Okay, please pay attention. It is all so sad. And nobody's really talking about this. You don't see any media reporting on it or any of those things. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. And this is what I reported on yesterday for those of you who missed it. I actually talked about a couple of days prior to that when they said it was 215. But as I said now, they're saying it's over 600.
Begin by saying how very sorry we are for your loss, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you all too.
I understand, Ms. Wade, you contacted the Jackson Police Department after reporting that your son was missing several times, even after he had been buried without your knowledge. Give us a sense of what they told you over those many months and what those months were like for you, not knowing where your son was.
Well, it was devastating to me because I didn't know where he were. And then I was calling them. They didn't have no information to let me know, have they, found any information. All the, details that I gave them for leads, they never came back to me to say, well, that lead related to something that we can work with. And I just couldn't believe that he had disappeared off the face of earth and nobody knows where he at. And it was just horrible for me And every day I wake up, I just just looking for him, just out in the streets looking for him. And I mean, that's heartbreaking for a mother. And can't say hello, don't know how to get in touch with him. That is a horrible thing for a mother.
Mr. Crump, after it was discovered that Dexter had been killed, that he had been buried in this grave, his body was exhumed in November. There was an autopsy conducted. He was given a proper burial. But I also understand a wallet was found in his front pocket with his ID, his home address, his insurance card. What's the explanation officials give for why no one was notified he had been killed and buried?
There really is no explanation that they have offered. They claimed that they tried to reach out to Miss Bettison, and you should know that Miss Bettison is the named plaintiff in a lawsuit against the Jackson Police Department because they killed her brother 3 years earlier. She went through 2 criminal trials, had several press conferences. So when they called her house, if they did call her house like they claimed, they knew where she lived. They knew how to get in contact with her if they really wanted to notify her that her son Dexter had been hit by a police car. So it is very suspicious that they would just bury him in a pauper's grave because they said they could not identify his next of kin. Miss Bettison does not accept it, and because of her tenacity, it has exposed all of these loved ones being dropped in a hole in a bag behind a Mississippi jail.
Mr. Crump, the Jackson mayor did say there were mistakes. He also just said that Dexter Wade's death was a tragic accident. He said there was no malicious intent in failing to notify the family. We know the police department has new notification procedures right now. What recourse are you specifically seeking right now for these families you represent?
We're seeking to have the Federal Department of Justice come in and do an investigation to make sure that each and every one of these citizens, disproportionately Black citizens whose lives matter, will be identified, their families notified, and them given a proper funeral.
And I should say, Ms. Wade, I mentioned families because you are not alone here. There's been in the last few months the discovery at least 2 other men, 40-year-old Mario Moore and 39-year-old Jonathan Hankins, were also killed and buried in that same cemetery, and their families not notified for months. From your perspective, Ms. Wade, what do you want to see happen now?
Well, first of all, I feel like that the city needs to give me an acknowledgement to say that, hey, I'm sorry. I mean, just give me some kind of closure and explain to me what actually happened to my son on that freeway that night. You know, how did it actually occur? You know, just what went down, the events that went down with it. And I want to see justice. I want to see justice done for this because it's wrong. It's wrong to take somebody's child and bury them in a field and I didn't even get a last chance to say anything to my child, or either I didn't even get a last chance to just say, baby, I love you. Just to look down on them and say, baby, I love you. They haven't even came and called me and said, Miss Wade, could you come down and we explain to you what happened? I mean, I haven't even got a word. And so how do that feel? That makes you feel like they are guilty. They are guilty of a crime because they can't tell you what happened.
Ms. Wade, do I understand correctly that the mayor, no one from the police department has reached out to you to explain what happened to your son?
No, no one have reached out to me to say, explain it, you know, to explain what happened to my son. But I did at least have city supervisors, you know, the board supervisors to say, you know, that they hated what happened to me. But I haven't had said anything. Nobody from JPD, Jackson Police Department, have came to me and acknowledged me.
Mr. Crump, the story gets even more disturbing with this discovery of 215 bodies in that cemetery. What do we know about those bodies?
We know based on the records from the coroner's office that since 2016, in the last 8 years, we can identify 215 individuals that were buried behind that jail, and their families have not been notified. Furthermore, Mr. Wade was number 672. That means there are 671 other people buried behind that jail, marked with only a number.
Mr. Crump and Ms. Betterson Wade, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. I have a feeling we'll be following up on this story in the weeks and months.
Okay, so there you have it. And as I told you before, you know, I don't know, or we don't know, if it was an accident when this off-duty officer even struck him. We don't know if that's even how he literally died, because the bodies were so badly decomposed when they were found and all of this. So at the end of the day, and they weren't embalmed, they were just tossed in a body bag and buried in a shallow grave. So who's to say what really happened? And as for the other 600 plus people that are buried back there, how did they all die? No one knows except for the people who did it. Okay? So these people could have come to a mysterious end or something vicious or something nefarious. We don't even know. And people want answers. And they tried to claim that these people were playing the race card. You know, when activist Silky Slim Reed came out and spoke about it and brought light to the situation, they tried to tell him and his organization that they're playing the race card. But that's absolutely not true, because you see, all of those bodies buried back there are not all Black. Some of those are white people back there. So they can miss us with it, trying to act as though it's something to do with race, because it isn't. Okay? At the end of the day, most of the people back there are likely Black, but there's also some white families that have not been able to find their missing loved ones, and they disrespected them just the same. And another thing is, you may recall that I told you they were supposed to exhume Dexter Wade's body at about 12:30 in the afternoon. And so the family could be there, and so they could see them take him out of the ground, and so they could say their goodbyes or whatever they wanted to say, you know, have some sort of ceremony perhaps. But they didn't do that. They ended up taking him out of the ground at around 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 a.m. And when they were questioned as to why they did this without informing anyone of the change, they said it was because they weren't going to allow them, the families that is, and the activists, they were not going to allow them to embarrass them with all those cameras. Okay, so they don't want anyone recording the footage. I just want you all to pay attention to the nefariousness of it all. But there's more, because you see, now there's a problem with Alabama prison inmates turning up dead, and when their bodies are returned to the families, well, they're missing their organs. Okay, now there's been 2 people that this has happened to that we know of thus far. And so let's talk about it, because I did a TikTok about this yesterday. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. 491 in the chat, please. Let's make the likes match the number. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So far, we have 2 families complaining about their loved ones who passed away in the Alabama state prison system, only for their bodies to be returned to them with missing organs. Let's get into it. Brandon Clay Dotson died in an Alabama state prison in November. Now, last month, his family filed a federal lawsuit against the Alabama Department of Corrections and others because they say that when the body was returned to them, it was in advanced stages of decomposition and his heart was missing. Please pay attention. In a court filing in a case last week, the daughter of Charles Edward Singleton, another inmate who passed away also, says that when her father's body was returned to them in 2021, he was missing all of his internal organs, including his brain. Attorney Lauren Ferrano, who's representing the Dotson family, says that for multiple families to experience this, well, it shows that there's absolutely a pattern. 43-year-old Dotson was found dead at Ventures Correctional Facility November the 16th. Dotson's family suspected foul play was involved with his demise, and so they hired a second pathologist to do an autopsy. And that's when they found out that the heart was missing, because the pathologist told them they couldn't finish the test or they couldn't complete the test without the heart, and that it was missing from the chest cavity. So the family filed a lawsuit seeking to find out why his heart was removed and to have it returned to them. They say defendants' outrageous and inexcusable mishandling of the deceased body amounts to a reprehensible violation of human dignity and common decency. This is what the lawsuit states, adding that their appalling misconduct is nothing short of grave robbery and mutilation. Now, Dotson's family, while seeking information about what happened to his heart, discovered the other families had similar experiences. And this is what attorney Fareno says. The situation involving Singleton, well, they say they mentioned in court documents filed by Dotson's family last week. And in the documents, the inmate's daughter, Charlene Drake, writes that the funeral home told her that her father's body was brought in with no internal organs after his death while incarcerated in 2021. This is all so crazy. So she wrote to the director, or wrote that the funeral director told her that normally the organs would be placed in a bag and put back in the body after the autopsy was completed. The Dotson family contended that perhaps Brenda's heart was taken during an autopsy with the intent to give it to the University of Alabama at Birmingham for research purposes. Attorneys for the university said that was some bold speculation for the family to say, and that they didn't do the autopsy and that they never received any of Dotson's organs. I'm not really sure why the Dotson family would think that the heart was going to be used for research purposes, because the first thing I would have thought about would be organ harvesting. Okay, and by the fact that this is more than one family, like the attorney said, that this seems to be a pattern. And so that makes it even more suspicious. I definitely think that they're harvesting these organs. But hey, what do I know? Okay, so this is also nefarious. What's really going on? Okay, with these inmates turning up dead and their organs being missing. And if you recall, a few years ago, about 2 years ago, I reported to you the story of a black man who was about 28 to 29 years old. He went to jail. He took himself to jail because he knew that he had an active warrant. I think it was for a DUI or something, but he went to jail before he went out of town. Okay, he wanted to turn himself in, get that over with, and then proceed out of town. But he never showed up to where he was headed. Okay, he later was found out to have been died in jail. Now, I actually think he was killed because inmates said different than what the corrections officer said. They were basically talking about he was banging his head on the cell and all of that against the bars and all of this stuff. They claimed that's how he died. But when his body was returned to his mother, the head, the brain and the heart were missing. And when they were questioned about it, they were given a runaround, like the whole load of BS. So who took that man's heart and brain? It was clearly taken for organ harvesting as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's just what I think it is. And it's also sick and nefarious. Now, let's talk about this student who got into a fight with her science teacher over her seizure medication. She needed her seizure medication, and the teacher, for whatever reason, didn't want her to take it. And so a brutal fight between a Missouri high school student and a science teacher left the educator in the hospital and the teenager having a seizure in handcuffs on the floor, okay, in front of her horrified classmates. Now, the violence broke out at Normandy High in St. Louis on Wednesday after teacher Cheryl Rogers challenged the students in a school corridor. Students at the school claimed that the teacher became unfairly suspicious when she saw the teenager retrieving her anti-seizure medication from a bag in her locker. But Miss Rogers' partner, Greg Statton, said the student pushed the teacher, tried to snatch her bag, and then attacked her after being told to wait. Where were the police? Where were the paraprofessionals? This is what her partner demanded to know. And the teacher was 65 years old, by the way, or is 65 years old. Now, Stanton was at work when he spotted video of the fight that went instantly viral after it was uploaded by students at the school in St. Charles Rock Road. Now, it begins with Miss Rogers already on the ground, seemingly clinging to a bag held by the student standing over her, who falls to the floor herself while landing a series of blows on the teacher's head. Okay, so anyway, they had a second video that was filmed seconds later, and that shows the student lying on her back in handcuffs in the same corridor, convulsing violently as a member of the school security staff tries to stop her from swallowing her tongue. This is all so sad and clearly could have been avoided. But Oh, they say Stanton said that his partner was taken to the hospital a short time later. She banged her up pretty bad. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't feel sorry for this teacher. First of all, why would you not allow this child to take her seizure medicine? She then had a seizure. She could have died, okay? Someone had to stop her from swallowing her tongue. Now, I don't condone violence unless it's in defense of yourself, but I absolutely see why the child was upset. That's all I'm saying. I see why she was upset. Okay, at the end of the day, the woman had no right doing what she did. That's just how I feel about it. She had no right doing what she did. Now, I'm going to show you all a series of pictures. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. This is all so nefarious. This is all crazy. BB Rodriguez said, meanwhile, another lawsuit. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So anyway, I just found it interesting. I'm going to show the footage. Okay, so that's unfortunate that happened. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see the teacher, who the teacher is. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. This is the teacher right here, 65 years old, Cheryl Rogers. And then this is when she was in cuffs and having a seizure, clearly. So very unfortunate turn of events. At the end of the day, I don't condone the student attacking the teacher. But at the end of the day, I see why she was so angry. Okay. And again, that's no excuse. But, when you send your children to school and they're on medication, the teachers and the staff should all be informed that they are on this medication and that they're allowed to take it. Okay, so there would be no discrepancy because they said the teacher got suspicious. I don't know what she was suspicious of. What was she thinking? And if she was suspicious, you see, I don't feel like she should have taken the child's bag. If she was curious as to what was in there or what was really going on, why didn't she just say, well, bring me the medicine, let me see it. Let me see what kind of medicine you're taking. And then she would have known that it was a prescription for her to not have seizures. So the teacher was wrong as far as I'm concerned, but the student was also wrong. Although I can understand her being so upset, I still think she was wrong for putting her hands on the teacher. And, now she's likely going to be expelled for something that could have been avoided. So the teacher and the student, both, in my opinion, handled the situation in the wrong way. That's just my opinion. Now let's go to Vivica Fox, because Vivica is out here, okay, trying to basically do damage control, okay, because she's spooked. After she said what she said so cavalierly and so, without any empathy, and like I told you all, passive aggressively, when she was questioned about Taraji's pay disparity complaints, and she said, well, I'm good. I don't have those problems and all that. So now it seems to me that she's out here trying to make amends because she received a lot of backlash from it. Okay, people, she received a lot of backlash. And at the end of the day, now she's trying to save face. Please pay attention.
Entertainment Tonight ran a salute to my career, and they took me down memory lane, you guys, all the way from the time of my very first time being on TV as a Soul Train dancer. That's right, y'all. I was going down the Soul Train line. Get it? I did Soul Train, Scramble Board, and everything, to my most current movies, and it's a lovely special. So check out Entertainment Tonight's salute to Vivica A. Fox. Okay, they said 2 minutes. No, it's been a wonderful journey. And in closing, I just want to say to all of my fans, somebody said 1 minute. Okay, thank you for the official countdown. Thank you guys. Man, I've had like the best week of my life. Like I said, I just left New York. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. I couldn't do what I do without you, without my cast, without my amazing director, David Decato, Hybrid Films, Lifetime. I just love you guys so much. I really do.
At the end of the day, that's clearly her trying to, like I said, do damage control as far as I'm concerned. And why did Entertainment Tonight suddenly give her, do a show about her accomplishments? Was it because she doesn't care about pay disparities? Maybe it was because she didn't complain about the money that she's been paid. I find it also interesting, is all I'm saying. Okay, I find it also interesting. Now, they take it upon themselves to do this for Vivica. Meanwhile, the lovely Angela Bassett, who has had a stunning career, okay, who is very talented. And I'm not saying Vivica isn't, because of course she is too. But what I'm saying is Angela Bassett has never won an Oscar, and then they recently gave her an honorary Oscar, okay? At the end of the day, why didn't she get a real Oscar for any of those stellar performances that she did? I have a whole lot of questions. All right, I have a whole lot of questions. But anyway, I digress. So now let's talk about this Diddy audio. Let's talk about it. Hit 'em up, explosive audio claiming Sean Diddy Combs orchestrated Tupac Shakur hit for $1 million, given as evidence in Keefe D trial. Diddy allegedly asked gangster Keefe D to kill Tupac and Suge Knight, saying, "Man, I want to get rid of those dudes." Oh, I bet you did, you low down dirty dog. And for anyone who has had questions as to why I'm going in so hard on Diddy, because somebody said, oh, remember somebody was in my chat one day with their silly selves talking about, oh, it's always black people tearing down other black people. It's always black women tearing down black men. Honey, first of all, Diddy is a piece of shit. Okay, that's what he is. And yes, I will continue to tear him down. I hope he goes to prison, because that's clearly where he belongs. Okay, and for what he had done to Tupac, well, that's the main reason I want him to go down. And I don't want him to ever get back up. Please pay attention. Okay, I'm not going to say what I really wish would happen to him, but that too. All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah, he's having before, before Jay. So you see Suge getting up on stage, making fun of Puffy. Yeah, because that was like the thing that started. That was triggering everything. Before anybody got shot. Yeah, that was disrespectful. I know he said it at that room in Anaheim and a couple times at Greenbacks. Okay. Okay, so just put you don't recall. Shoot. Yeah, when T-Mac told me that Zip got the money, oh man. So he tells you seriously, man, I need to get rid of these guys. And he's looking at you in the eyes and like scared. Yeah. He's scary, dude. Now you wouldn't have to conversation with this man, yeah. We ain't got no pistols. We got no pistols. Okay, so he says, you tell him we'll do it for $1 million, and he's like, okay, I'll do it for $1 million. Yeah. He agrees to shake hands or something like that. Yeah. What happened? He like, man, we went there quick, you know, it's nothing. So he said, who brought up the amount of $1 million? He did. Puffy did, yeah. Okay. Wasn't you? No, it wasn't me. He called anybody. He called Jeff. And the next day, he's like, this is all good. We got that. Call me. He said, was that right? Yeah. He called while we were in the Wait, so Zip called you and said, is that maybe at the Halloween place, or maybe the Halloween place, you know. You said the Halloween place is here in LA. Yeah, okay. So let's go back to Vegas. So you're in Vegas, you wake up the next morning.
Okay, so you all heard that, but let's not forget how Gene Deal said basically Diddy didn't even care, said it out of his own mouth, allegedly, that he didn't even care if Biggie died. You all remember that? Hold on, let me just play that for you. I'm going to play the audio.
You did an interview with Queen's Flip, and you said that you heard Puffy say something. You said, I don't care if Pac gotta die, I don't care if Big gotta die, something has to change.
Right.
When did he say that?
Right after the Soul Train thing. He said, we got back to the house. We did a walk around. My man went upstairs. Then we did a walk around. He stayed in the limousine. You understand? So now I got Chaz on the phone. And I'm like, yo, Chaz, I can't believe, man. I was about to, you know, blase, whoop-de-whoop. And this nigga ran. And he said, yeah, he ran. I said, yeah, Chaz. So Puff came in and everything like that. And then Puff went upstairs. He said, yo, he did what? And as Puff was walking up the steps, I said, yeah, he ran, man. And he said, why you tell him I ran? Why you ain't tell him I took a left? I was like, I just took a left. He said, Chad said, what'd he say? He said, why I tell you he ran? I should have just told him he took a left. And then Puff came back downstairs. He was heated. He said, yo, Gene, I got 126 employees, and these people depend on me for their livelihoods. If these white folks thought or they would think that I had anything to do with any kind of gunplay, they wasn't gonna fuck with me, and they not gonna fuck with me. He said, I'm a businessman. I'm about making money, but something gotta change. I don't give a fuck if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail. Something's gotta change. And he took upstairs, he turned around and walked back upstairs. And it didn't dawn on me what he said. And then my man looked at me and Bun was like, yo, that nigga said Big. I said, yo, he sure did. He said, Big gotta die? He said, yo, he said Big.
Okay, so there you have it. There you have it. Diddy is a low-down, nefarious dog, and he's always been that as far as I'm concerned. Okay? From the City College BS and fiasco that he was the cause of until Pac and Biggie both being dead. And I want you to pay attention. He said he don't care if Big gotta die, Pac gotta die, and Suge goes to jail. Well, Tupac died, Biggie died, and Suge's in jail. So he got his wish, low down, dirty devil. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, with that all being said, do you all remember the time that Diddy was allowed himself to be used to push an agenda? Do you all remember that? If you don't, I'm going to show you the footage. Everyone, please get those likes up. 605 in the chat. Let's have 605 likes. Everyone, please get those likes up. Thank you very much. You know they have the Queen Shadow Band, honey. All right.
What's up, snitches? It's indeed a pleasure to meet you. Oh, did as you know, a bitch gotta stay dipped. Indeed. What? All right, let's get back to making this smash. Hey, Blizzy Rock, let's hit him one. Yo, no homo. No! What you talking about? My boy just killed it in there. Yeah, don't front on Blitz. He's spitting high five. Well, girl, you the one that's high five. If you wasn't my man's mom, I'd tear that ass up. Thank you.
They turned down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say I'm so free.
Okay, you all see that. Y'all see why they call me the Queen of Receipts, honey, because I go and dig up the receipts and make it all make sense and put 1 and 1 together and get 2. Okay, I connect the dots. Now let's talk about Cassidy, because Cassidy was asked the question, who was the greatest of all times? Was it Biggie or was it Tupac? Well, I'm going to take a poll right now before I play this. Okay, so if you think that Tupac is the greatest of all times, Put ones in the chat. Now, if you think Biggie is the greatest of all times, put a 2. Ones for Pac and 2s for Biggie. Let's see what y'all got to say. I already know the answer clearly. And I'm going to tell you all why after these messages. Okay? I'm going to tell you all why after these messages. Now, y'all said Biggie. Okay? Miss E said Biggie because you from Brooklyn. I'm about to crack y'all's face. I'm about to crack y'all's faces, beloved. Queen Amona Hewitt said 1 and 2. Nope, it only can be 1, honey. It can only be one number 1. Okay, anyone after is number 2. Pay attention. All right. Now we're going to see what Cassidy says, and then I'm going to tell y'all who's number 1 and why. Because here's the thing. When you label someone as the GOAT, the greatest of all times, there are several things that you have to take into perspective. Okay, you have to talk about their talent. You have to talk about the number of hits when we're talking about rappers. Okay, pay attention. You have to talk about their talent, the amount of people that they reached. You have to talk about what their songs and music entail, their lyrical ability. You have to talk about their longevity. You have to talk about all of these things. These all play a role and a part. So let's get into it because I'm about to crack some faces up in here. Y'all know it's Tupac. Y'all already know.
Rapper to come out of Philly.
I feel like I'm the greatest rapper, period. You know what I mean? Not just in no specific place. Like, I feel like I'm the best anywhere I go. When I was in Philly, I felt like I was the best. I went to New York, felt like I was the best. Went to Jersey. I'm in Atlanta now, and I still feel like I'm the best. So anywhere I go, when I was in Africa, when I was in China, when I was in Germany, when I was in Europe, I just felt like London. When I was in Australia, I just felt like I was the best everywhere I go. So not just Philly, just period. I mean, I feel like I'm the best. And especially the people that's judging by the real science. Like I said, a bunch of fans don't really know enough to judge properly. Just like a lot of fans of basketball don't know really enough about basketball to really judge properly who the best. But they still might say Steph or LeBron or Jordan. They'll just call out names because that's what everybody tell you. So you might not even got to do your research. You just overhear conversations and you'll hear them names. So you'll run with that. Just like in hip hop, they'll be like, who the best? And people will be like Big and Pop. But people might not even be informed enough to know if they the best or not. They'll just say it because it's like that's what they heard people saying. You know what I mean? But they don't know enough about basketball or enough about rap to make the decision themselves.
Right. Big or Pop?
Well, who better?
Yeah.
Can't pick between them. Like, they both too great. They both made too much of an impact. I like them. I like both of them for different reasons. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about the people that say Tupac wasn't that lyrical?
I don't know. Well, I would have to understand why they said that. I would have to ask them, like, why would they feel that way? And I would have to ask them, how many of Pac verses did you hear? Like, some people could say Pac ain't that lyrical and might have only heard a few songs. You know what I mean? Might have heard Dear Mama, might have heard a couple songs from him, like a couple singles, and just judging by that, but don't really know what Pac really could do. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know who said that, but I believe he was super lyrical. And I believe he was a revolutionary. Like, the type of lyrics that he was rapping wasn't just trying to fit in or just trying to, like, you know what I mean, just spit a hot rap. Like, it was a lot of points and messages and a lot of deep stuff in Pac lyrics that you had to be you got to be at a certain place to even understand it. Or the majority of stuff that Pac was trying to get across or go over your head, and you will only listen to a small piece of it and think that's not lyrical, because the lyrical stuff that he was doing, you're not catching. You know what I mean? Well, he was able to like put conversation in rap form, make it rhyme. He was piecing up multiple syllables. He could use figurative language when he wanted. He could say stuff that was like double entendre, stuff that had multiple meanings. But even on this song, first off, your bitch in the click you claim, west side where we ride, come equipped with game. Like, that's 3 syllables right there. It's pieced up. People still rhyming 1 syllable in songs today. You know what I mean? Or even 2. He was piecing up 3 back then at will and putting it in talk form, which is difficult to do. He just did it so easily that it might be hard for you to understand. He not like doing it where he trying to make you know he rapping like quit game and trying to break it down and let you know he doing it. He just talked it out so smooth that you might not even catch it. You know what I mean? But Pac was a genius, man. Like, Pac got so much dope shit. And he was original. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know too many. I never heard like nobody sound like Pac. I never heard nobody like, oh, he got his style from this person alone. Like, he just was original and went in so many directions that wasn't there before he did it. So I think that's why he lyrical. And if he was around to this day, like still, you would have really even be able to see how lyrical he was. You know what I mean?
How many rappers did you know had tats before Pac? That was getting tats like that.
Yeah, like, yeah, tats, the whole gangster mentality, thug life, and showing that you could be commercial and do songs to show that you got a conscience, you got a heart. But at the same time, you could still be, you know what I'm saying, ready. Like, I'm ready to get it popping. I'm ready to get. Dave Chappelle just gave an example of, like that. He got a new special out called Dreamer. And he gave an example like that. He said, I'm just like Will Smith. I will go crazy and smack the shit out somebody if they disrespect me or somebody I love. That's in me. But Chris Rock in me too. I could get smacked and not do nothing because I know it's a lot at jeopardy and I know I could tarnish a lot. So to keep everything together, I might not do nothing if somebody smack me. That's a part of me too. But you don't got to be fake because both of them is a part of you. And you don't have to react the same time every time. It just depends on the situation. And that's what make you a man when you can make them type of decisions. So I feel like that's what Pac was showing. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes I can be the Chris Rock, you know what I mean, and fall back. But at other times I could be Will Smith and I'm ready to smack the shit out you. But that's still me. They both my personalities. Just like they show you got a good and bad conscience. But they both you. Your bad conscience don't belong to somebody else. And only your good conscience is yours, or only your bad conscience is yours. It's like they both are part of you. Yin and yang. Like, everybody got different sides to them. But some people only want to show one side. And I feel like that's faker than showing all of you. So that's why I respect the ball.
Okay, so let me say this. I saw some of you going in on Cassidy in the chat. I don't know why you all are going in on Cassidy. Cassidy is a battle rapper. Now, if you're wondering why he doesn't have records all over the internet or whatever, all these records or whatever, Cassidy is known for being one of the best battle rappers. And if you don't know that, then you don't know him. I don't know why some of you were going in on this man. What did he say that was wrong? Why are y'all hating? Talking about who is he and all of that. Well, maybe you never heard of him, but at the end of the day, y'all don't have to be disrespectful. Some of y'all are sad, okay? Some of y'all are clearly sad. Now, let me say this. Here's why Tupac is the best. We're about to break it down. I'm sorry, I did love Biggie's music. I still do. But at the end of the day, Biggie is he was not the best rapper. He's not the GOAT. It is and always will Tupac. Nobody's ever going to be able to live up to what Tupac is or was. That's just not going to happen. First of all, let's look at it like this. We're still talking about Tupac till this day. But not just that. Tupac was a whole revolutionary. Okay, name another rapper that's ever been or will ever be a revolutionary. Name another rapper that stood up for his people and was willing to shoot 2 officers in doing so. Now, of course, he didn't know they were officers, but nonetheless, he put himself in jeopardy. He could have gone to prison. But he stood up for a black man that he saw being mistreated. Now, these rappers today are not going to do that, and Biggie wouldn't have done it either. Okay, so let's just keep talking, because here's the bottom line right here. Here are the reasons why Tupac is and always will be the best. Y'all can hate all you want. Brooklyn in the house, okay? If I lived in Brooklyn, I would not lie and say that Biggie's the greatest just because I lived in Brooklyn. Pay attention. Tupac recorded over 713 songs, starred in 7 films from 1991 to 1996. He sold 75 million records, had 9 platinum albums, 7 albums worth of music ready to go before he died. Okay? All of that by the age of 25. He is the greatest ever. And don't any of you ever forget it. All right? It is what it is. I don't care who's mad. Those are the facts. You see, we can all have our opinion about who's the GOAT, but the facts will always, forever speak for themselves. That's the truth. Now, did Biggie do any of that? No, he didn't. He absolutely didn't. All right. Pac outsold him, had more platinum albums than him, and still had music being played and put out even after he died, years after he died. He is the greatest of all times. We're not just talking about lyrical ability, because he even superseded Biggie in that as well, with those double entendres and all of that. I'm sorry, the facts are what they are. So anyway, anyone that thinks differently, well, just sit down somewhere. All right. Sit down somewhere. So with that all being said, Robert Sparks says, I agree with Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Aeon said he was beautiful to look at. Yes, of course. Okay. Y'all know Biggie wasn't easy on the eyes. Sit down somewhere. All right. So with that all being said, Leatra said the Queen's voice rose like thunder. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate that. Okay, so now with that all being said, moderators, I hope that you put the link for the next live in the chat. If you didn't, please do so. I'm about to start the next live. It is going to be juicy. You're going to love it. We're going to talk about Cat Williams. Okay, and the real reason why these haters are out here lying and saying he's on drugs. We're going to get into it. I'm going to tell you the exact reason, and I'm going to drop some receipts. All right, I want you all to pay attention. With that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. I love you all to life. Not leaving with any theme music because we're going on to the next video. All right, starts at 12:10. I changed the time because this video ran over. All right, so I'll see you all in the next chat. Peace. Oh, each one teach one. All right, that's how we grow and thrive. Don't forget to do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.